Hello, you guys. For this episode, this is a special episode of the PoliTikalon Blog TV because this is 2017 year in review. And for this episode, we'll be bidding goodbye to the momentous events of 2017. And let's try to look back into the significant events of this year. And I've compiled all these events. And here is the top 10 events for 2017 for the Philippines.
Number 10. Philippines hosts Miss Universe pageant after 21 years.
For the third time since the Miss Universe pageant's inception in 1952, the 65th edition was held on 30th of January at the Mall of Asia Arena in Pasay City. Filipina cyclist Pia Wurtzbach crowned Iris Mitinech of France as her successor at the end of the event. It was Philippines' third time hosting the prestigious beauty pageant and the first in 21 years. The contestants participated in fashion shows in the Philippine cities of Davao, Cebu, and Vigan.
Number 9. Sandra Ford transformation.
Previously known as Marlu Arizala of the now disbanded boy band T5, Ford became popular after he had undergone a highly publicized cosmetic surgery last October. Prior to that, the band T5 has experienced online bullying because of their physical appearances. The newly found fame of the internet personality was met with both positive and negative responses from Filipino netizens.
Number 8. Philippines hosts the 30th and 31st ASEAN Summits.
These diplomatic conferences were held in the Philippines from April 28th and 29th and November 10th to 14th, 2017. It marked the third and fourth time the ASEAN Summit was held in the Philippines. One of the action steps by the ASEAN leaders is the releasing of the statement on April 28th expressing grave concern over tensions in the Korean Peninsula. They also urged for self-restraint for all parties concerned. Another significant event was the meeting of world leaders, including the first for the ASEAN chair, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte and US President Donald Trump.
Number 7. Resorts World Manila attack.
On June 2nd, more than 100 people at the Resorts World Manila entertainment complex were either killed or injured when Jesse Javier Carlos, a debt-riddled former civil servant, caused a stampede and set fire to casino tables and slot machine chairs around midnight. 37 people died from the initial stampede and smoke inhalation. The attack was financially motivated, and Carlos later committed suicide following a confrontation with the police.
Number 6. KITAKITA surpasses General Luna as the highest-grossing Philippine independent film.
Literally meaning I See You, this rom-com movie was written and directed by Sigrid Andrea P. Bernardo and was set in Sapporo, Japan. It follows Leia, played by Alessandra de Rossi, a Filipino tourist guide in Japan who goes temporarily blind, having witnessed her Japanese fiancé's infidelity. Fellow Filipino and charmer Tonyo, played by Empoy Marquez, makes a sudden appearance and befriends the visually impaired Leia in best possible ways. The film is a co-production between Piolo Pascual's and Joyce Bernal's Spring Films and Viva Films. In a poll by CNN Philippines, the movie was selected among the romantic comedy films considered the best in the last 25 years. It earned about 320 million pesos in sales against a measly budget of 10 million pesos.
Number 5. The Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion Law.
The Train Law is the first package of the administration's much-awaited comprehensive tax reform program. Described by President Duterte as the administration's biggest Christmas gift to the Filipino people, it was seen to benefit 99% of all Filipino taxpayers. All taxpayers who earn not more than 250,000 pesos yearly will be exempt from paying Philippine taxes. Excise tax, however, were increased on fuel products, sweetened beverages, and brand new vehicles.
Number 4. Typhoons Urduha and Vinta.
Typhoon Vinta, with the international name Typhoon Tenbin, was a deadly tropical cyclone that impacted the southern Philippines in late December. Vinta struck less than 2 weeks after Tropical Storm Urduha with the international name KITAK. Vinta was the deadliest cyclone to hit Mindanao since Typhoon Pablo, with the international name Bopa, in 2012. It claimed 257 deaths, while Urduha, which hit the Visayas group of islands, took the lives of 54 people.
Number 3. The Dengvaxia dengue vaccination
Controversy. Dengvaxia was the world's first dengue vaccine and was predicted to be a runaway success for French vaccine maker Sanofi Pasteur. The World Health Organization approved its use in April of 2016, and it has been licensed in more than 12 countries. The Philippines was one of the first 4 countries to approve its use and was a study site during clinical trials. The Philippine Department of Health, however, temporarily suspended a school-based dengue vaccination program after Sanofi Pasteur made a statement that its product poses higher risks to people without prior dengue infection. More than 733,000 children aged 9 and above were already vaccinated since April last year. According to Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption, some children allegedly died and some of the victims' parents blamed the dengue vaccine for the deaths of their children. The Philippine government under the Aquino administration had spent 4.5 billion pesos, or $70 million, for the vaccines. Current President Rodrigo Duterte wants this amount to be refunded. Investigations are still ongoing.
Number 2. The Marawi city siege.
On May 23rd, the Philippine government security forces and militants affiliated with the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, also known as ISIS, including the Maute and Abu Sayyaf Salafi jihadist groups, fought at Marawi City in the Lanao del Sur province. According to the Philippine government, the clashes began during an offensive in Marawi to capture Isnilon Hapilon, the leader of the Abu Sayyaf group, after receiving reports that Hapilon was in the city. A deadly firefight erupted when Hapilon's forces opened fire on the combined army and the police teams and called for reinforcements from the Maute group. The militants took a priest, churchgoers, and some other civilians as hostage. Their main objective was to raise an ISIL flag at the Lanao del Sur provincial capital and declare a provincial ISIL territory. With heavy urban firefights, finally on October 17th, the militant leaders Omar Maute and Isnilon Hapilon were neutralized. All 7 Maute brothers were also killed by the Philippine Army. 6 days after, Defense Secretary Delphine Lorenzana announced that the battle had finally ended with a decisive government victory. More than 1,200 people died from the siege, 974 from the terrorists, 165 losses from the government troops, and 87 civilians, 40 of whom succumbed to illnesses. The battle was the longest urban battle in the modern history of the Philippines.
And here are the honorable mentions. And number 1, the drug war deaths and controversies.
It's been clear that President Duterte is hell-bent in curbing and clearing the country from illegal drugs. However, a lot of controversies related to the war on drugs sprung up this year. These figures vary significantly depending on who you ask. According to the Philippine Information Agency, as of December 27th, 86 police and military personnel have lost their lives in anti-drug operations and 226 were wounded. About 3,967 were killed in official police operations. The organization Human Rights Watch, however, estimates the death of up to 13,000. All deaths allegedly included Filipinos who fought against the police and possessed definite amount of drugs and guns, including teenagers. Some include the deaths of allegedly innocent individuals such as that of 17-year-old Kian Lloyd de los Santos and that of Carl Arnaiz, 19 years old. Both were handcuffed and were kneeling, allegedly killed by Caloocan policemen. Arnaiz got killed by police supposedly responding to a distress call by a taxi driver, while De Los Santos was slain by cops during a drug raid. They both allegedly shot it out with the arresting officers, but autopsy reports released by the public attorney's office show they were handcuffed, dragged, and shot. The cases still remain to be solved, although the involved police officers are facing charges. Last Friday, another deadly mishap took place in Shaw Boulevard in Mandaluyong, where 2 people were fatally killed by the police over mistaken identity. Despite the political noise, President Duterte is still the most approved and the most trusted government official in the Philippines today, with 80% approval rating as of September 2017. According to the lobbying firm Publicus Asia, 82% of millennials approve of Duterte. The figure is even higher in Mindanao. Clearly, the government's war on drugs is still getting traction.
Indeed, 2017 was a year of triumph and losses, but we know that the Filipino spirit will always prevail. So from us here in the PoliTikalon Blog TV, we would like to greet everyone. Have a happy and prosperous new year. See you. Bye-bye.